Hello, hello, hello. You are tuning into the episode of The Wunderkind Show. Today's first topic, hopes and dreams. Now, where am I going with that? So, something came on Twitter early this morning. It was talking about Tank Dell. Now, if you watch the show, you know that I was a big hopeful for a Tank Dell to join this team. Now, I'm happy we got Zay, of course, but I was saying that I thought Tank Dell was going to be probably the steal of the draft. And I thought whoever got him was going to sit there and go, man. So I was wondering, everyone's saying, oh, he's going to go, where do you think he's going to be? All these guys are saying he's going to be nice. But then it started getting me thinking about Zay. And I was thinking and almost talking to myself, and I was like, what type of season can Zay Flowers in a passing concept offense actually achieve? So I was wondering, and I was sitting there, I'm like, you know what? Let me start breaking this down. Because I was thinking about all the receivers in my head that had amazing first years. Recently, not like throughout, NFL time. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what's crazy? He probably could have a good year. And I'm going to break it down on today's episode for it. So, what we know is that Bateman is still trying to get better for the season, right? Okay. OBJ is being eased in to going full speed. Okay. The two receivers, even though Zay had a little tweak, he's back and running around just fine now. The only two receivers that you hear hey, they've been hitting it hard, or three has been Aguilar, Duvernay, and Flowers. So my point is, starting out the year, Zay might actually end up starting because of, injuries or ramping a player up to full speed. Now, a starting Zay Flowers in this type of offense with a Lamar, I think Lamar is going to target him early and often, if that is the case, right? Even if he's the third option on the offense, let's say Bateman isn't fully ready to go, but OBJ is ready to go. So you got OBJ, you got Flowers, you got Mark. You know what I mean? Those will pretty much be your big three in the receiving category, even though I think the running backs, primarily JK, is going to absolutely eat on the receiving yards this season. But let's go through some of these other guys that have had great rookie seasons and compare and see if we think Zay can do anything similar. So the first one I'm going to go into, a lot of you might know him, Chris Olave, and he's 6 feet, 187 pounds, of course, played for the Saints. Last year, he had 72 receptions for 1,042 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 14.5 yards a clip. Okay? That's what he had. The targets was 119. So, do we see Zay being capable of getting 119 targets in this offense? No, I do not. I see Zay getting more like 90-ish targets. And quick bubble screens, whatever else, quick outs, speed outs, all that stuff. I think he's going to be a monster at those things. But Lamar is going to try to go deep. That's what he likes to do. He likes to take his shots deep. And I think that Zay is going to be on the receiving end for a lot of that. So do I think he gets 119 targets? No. So do I think he does an Olave season? I don't know, maybe. But I think his average is going to have to be up. Now, where I think he's going to have more than is touchdowns. I could see Flowers with 6 to 8 touchdowns this season easily. But we got more to keep going. So that was Chris Olave's, right? So let's go check Garrett Wilson. Now, Garrett Wilson, of course, is another 6 foot, 192 pound guy. We're talking about Zay, who I believe is about 5'9". So they got about 4 inches on him. And what he had last year, Garrett Wilson, was 83 receptions for 1,100 yards and 4 touchdowns, 13.3 yards a clip. Bless me. So how much targets did he have? 147. He is not getting 147. It would have to be catastrophic injury to me, in my own opinion, for him to receive that many receptions. And actually, if you want to go back to it, Chris Olave looked like he might have had a better season than Garrett Wilson overall, judging how he might have had less receptions, but he had way less targets. He had almost 40 less targets. He averages more a clip, had the same amount of touchdowns, and only had about 90 yards less than a Garrett Wilson. But that's not a shot at Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson was dealing with absolute carousel of quarterbacks. So that's going to be, I think he's going to be a star based on Aaron Rodgers gets the ball to his receivers. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. So I think he's going to do well. So I don't think he puts up that either. Let's go to somebody else. Jalen Waddle, 5'10", 182 pounds, Dolphins. His rookie year, he had 104 receptions for 1,015 yards, 9.8 yards a clip, which isn't great. 63.4 yards per game. That's okay. Okay. See that number? I think Zay can average 59 or 60 yards a game. And because we play an extra game, that would put him over 1,000, I believe, right? So what would it be? 60 times 17. That's 120. That's 1,020. So I think he's very capable of doing that. But I'm going over some of these seasons that some of these other guys have had to compare. And I don't think he's going to get that many targets. But once again, 140 targets is crazy. That's like, oh my gosh. And of course, the other big 2 names you have is Jamar Chase. 6 foot. You're seeing that a lot, right? The 6 foot route runners. 201 pounds. Rookie year, 81 receptions on 128 targets. 1,400, almost 1,500 yards receiving. 18 yards a clip. 85.6 yards per game. 13 touchdowns. I can make a legitimate argument that this year, even though he had less yards, he actually played almost as well as his previous season. But whatever. For a rookie season, that's great. 128 targets, 81 receptions, 4.8 receptions per game. Once again, I don't think he's going to get up there in the targets. I just think he's going to be around the 90 range. That 30, 40 targets is a big gap for receivers. Okay? And of course, the creme de la creme for his rookie season is Justin Jefferson, who had 88 receiving yards or 88 receptions on 125 targets for 1,400 yards, 15.9 yards a catch, 87.5 yards per game, and 7 touchdowns. Look, I'm going to be real with y'all. If Zay is a yak monster in the league, if he gets 90 receptions, 95 receptions, but he catches somewhere around 70, and he's averaging, after 70%, let's say 15 yards a catch, that's 1,000 yards. It's 1,000 yards, almost 1,100 yards. Do y'all think it's doable? I do. Listen, let me tell you this right now. I think Tank Dell is going to be amazing. But I'm reading off all these numbers, and I think that it's not just about the quantity. It's about quality. And I think in this offense, Zay is going to get quality looks. He might get less targets, but the target's going to be absolutely amazing because he's not going to be doubled, tripled, bracketed, anything like that. Because you have to worry about Mark Andrews, and you have to worry about Lamar, you have to worry about J.K. And if OBJ is playing, you got to worry about OBJ. And if Bateman's playing, you got to worry about Bateman. And we still haven't even talked about Likely or Gus. So he could literally go and have one of these like supreme level seasons. And I already told you, I already told you, 70, even 60, let's say he had 65 catches. If he got 65 catches and he's averaging 15 a clip, that's about 1,000 yards, 975. That's what it is. So my parameter for him is not so much getting the targets like these other guys, but what he does with the targets that he actually gets. And I think if he could get open and in space, Zay's going to be a yak monster. Especially that he might be 5'10", but he has a muscular build. He's not like a Hollywood who is just straight line, arriba, Speedy Gonzalez down the field. He's shifty, and he's strong and stocky. So it's harder to bring him down. And one hand usually doesn't bring this guy down. It takes a full-on tackle or multiple guys rallying to the football to get him down. So, look, if I had to make a guess, like I said, I could see him going for, let's say, 68 catches. 68 catches for 1,040 yards. And there's going to be times where I think he does jet sweeps. Another thing, I'm not talking about aggregated yards. I'm talking about just receiving. And I think he's going to help out in special teams. Definitely. I think Harbaugh is going to have him catching either a punt or a kick sometime during the season. But tell me what you guys think. Do you think Zay can eclipse or get to 1,000 yards receiving in his rookie year after everything we just talked about? Remember what I said. If he gets 60 catches and he's averaging 15 a clip, right? That's almost 1,000 yards, right? That's 900 yards. So anything over that, he's at 1,000 yards. Just saying. So 65 or something like that at 15 a catch or 68, somewhere around there, he's at 1,000 yards. So let me know in the comment section, do you guys think Zay can have an outstanding rookie season? And do you think he can actually eclipse or reach the 1,000-yard receiving mark on the Ravens? And I need y'all to check something too. Would that be the first time a rookie receiver for the Ravens eclipsed 1,000 yards? Would that be the first time in NFL Ravens history? Would that be the first? Let me know down in the comment section, all right? And once again, it's another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Thank you all for watching. You know how we get down. We have fun and we laugh. But everything we talk about is rooted in what? Facts and truth. Please do remember, like, subscribe to that notification bell, and leave a comment. Just be respectful when you do, and we got no problems. And if you would like to donate and help this channel grow, bottom of the screen is a QR code. That's how we do all donations and stuff like that. And it's located in the description of every video that we do. And the name of the Cash App for the donations is $The Show. Also available as the Patreon, was located in the description of every video that we do. What you get with it, sweepstakes, access to me, being able to contact me personally. You get to be able to play fantasy for everything, you know what I'm saying? So go out there and get it. It's a lot, especially when the regular season starts back. There's going to be one of the craziest deals you'll see on YouTube. So go out there and support and get that if you want the extra content, okay? But once again, that's another episode of The Wunderkind Show. It's your host, Nitro, signing off. And as always, you guys know my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Yerp.